will be back tomorrow. So it's just myself and Brad Nortman. Second place, Brad, longtime NFL punter. How was your weekend, Brad?
Weekend was good. It's good to be back. I mean, it was, first of all, how nice was it to get a little taste of spring outside, right? Warm weather, felt good. Just in general, though, fun weekend.
I don't even think spring exists anymore.
You think, was that our spring? Was that like one day?
It's like 1 or 2 days. Like,
I will say,
there's no real transition anymore.
Yeah.
It's so abrupt.
I will say with spring, too, enjoy it, love the warm weather. But my body gets all out of whack, right? Sinuses, allergies. And next week, we jump ahead. I mean, everything about it is a little bit out of whack. I look forward to Memorial Day when it starts to be like a rhythm of warm weather and niceness.
Hang on. Spring ahead, right?
Yeah.
That means
fall back, spring ahead.
Yeah.
That means we're losing an hour?
Yeah.
That's correct.
So it's not about me.
Oh, we got another member of the Brust household that's going to be in for a rude awakening.
I feel like all I hear from parents is the fall back and spring ahead is the worst because of like what it does to a sleep schedule for a child.
That's true. I have heard that. Oh, man.
800-990-3776. You literally made my heart drop when you said that. Is there anything that I need to know as a new parent about the times that are changing in terms of springing forward, losing an hour's sleep? Because that means if she would wake up at, blank in the middle of the night, if, we have her on a schedule, it could be 2 a.m., and then she sleeps 3.5, 4 hours. That would be now 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. So do we put her to bed earlier? Do we put her to bed later?
I think the challenge is going to be bedtime, because what will feel like 7 o'clock, oh no, it goes to 8 o'clock. So waking up will be harder. I think waking up will be more challenging because it'll feel like they're waking up earlier than they actually are. I don't know. I just remember, honestly, the time when the only
Brad's not a parent. Somebody who knows
True.
what they're talking about, help me. 800-990-3776.
Well, and this is where a parental brain is needed. Because when I think of spring ahead or fall back, I have one visceral memory of being in Madison at the KK in the senior year, and it was like
the extra hour at the bar.
And then all of a sudden it's like, we're going back. It's fall back, daylight savings time. Bars open another hour. Because basically you go to 1 o'clock, it shoots back to midnight. And then you go all the way till 2 again.
But that's in the fall, right?
That's in the fall. That's the one memory I have of any of these.
This time for spring, they get one less hour at the bar, correct?
Yeah. It fast forwards, basically, an hour.
So 1 a.m. goes to 3 a.m.
Yes, that's correct.
Or 2 a.m. Regardless, bars are closing.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's frightful. A sleep schedule, too. As a new parent yourself, I'm sure you can attest as well as anyone. Sleep schedule, that's like sacred, and that's what to be jacked with.
Yeah, the thing that we've been trying to focus on most is not ourselves, but trying to get the baby on the schedule so that when we do want to have more of a life, that we are pretty strict on trying to get the most amount of time where she's sleeping, so we may have time to ourselves.
And how has that been? Are you finding that you're
starting
to hit?
Things are going.
Rolling.
The last 2 weeks have been all right, upping the feedings, more at this time. You get a longer sleep schedule, and the wake windows in the day are bigger. Everything's going great. We flipped it on its head. It used to be horrible. It used to be up more in the night, sleeping in the day. We flipped that. I mean, that was probably because it was first 2 weeks. And now since 2 to 5 weeks, it's been phenomenal. So now spring ahead's going to bleep.
So you're hitting your rhythm at exactly the wrong time.
Yes. Well, speaking of hitting the rhythm, if you do have advice, I will take it. 800-990-3776. As a new parent trying to get a kid on the right sleep schedule, will spring forward due to us, going ahead, spring forward here. Thinking about Aaron Jones, I heard Jen Gaben-Shuey this morning. I've heard, I saw Tom Silverstein of the Journal Sentinel write an article, and he peaked at the right time. We had Aaron Jones, not as hamstring Aaron Jones, sitting out Aaron Jones. The most productive Aaron Jones all year was at the absolute right time for the Green Bay Packers. The Chicago game, because I remember, the Bears have a top 2 run defense in the last 10 weeks. 120 yards. Next week, fast forward, 100 yards, 3 straight 100-yard games from Aaron Jones. He was an absolute beast. And the conversation now continues to be, do you bring back Aaron Jones, and what does that look like? And conversations between Goody and his agent. Right now, he's scheduled to make $12 million. That's a lot. It's a lot for a guy who didn't play the entire season, continues to age, had hamstring injuries last year. And don't get me wrong, in the studio right now, I'm wiping my shirt off and I'm throwing first down because I love Aaron Jones. I think he's a great person. I think he's a great player. But business is business, and I know a lot of people love him. How are you feeling right now?
Well, Aaron Jones is complicated because he's so easy to love, right? I mean, he is, for this version of this Green Bay Packer team, he is Mr. Packer. So he carries the G. We love him. He loves us. Because we love someone that also loves to play in Green Bay, right? Not does it painstakingly. So I would love to see the Packers keep Aaron Jones, but on their terms. You cannot keep Aaron Jones on the roster for what he's currently due for 2024. $12 million? I mean, $12 million would be up there with the whole running back market. There are some elite running backs not only available, but also playing under contract. Aaron Jones would be in the top of that. And my biggest concern with Aaron Jones, it isn't necessarily what he does when he's on the field. It's getting him on the field, right? We so easily we forget, and you mentioned perfectly, Ben, that the end of the season, that recency bias of, man, Aaron Jones was doing so well. Let us not forget that the bulk of the season, he was either out or he was on a significant pitch count and just he did not look the same. So
let me ask you this. I mean, like, all I see from a lot of Wisconsin fans and Packer fans, because of everything you just said, when you have a guy that embraces what it means to live in Wisconsin, be a Packer, be a Badger, whatever it may be, you are embraced back. And I think the biggest thing is I think about, well, I grew up in Illinois, and when I got done playing professionally overseas, moved back to the suburbs of Chicago, and it wasn't home to me anymore. I wanted to move to Wisconsin because Wisconsin felt like home. From Madison to now Milwaukee, love spending time in Wisconsin. I bought a house here, and I'm raising a family here. And I think that is why people love Wisconsin, because of the community aspect of what it is to say, I live in Wisconsin. I'm a this, I'm a that. I'm a Packer backer, a Badger fan. I live for the Brewers in the summer, whatever it may be. Aaron Jones gives those Packer backer, I love being here type feels. So when I hear someone say, we need to keep Aaron Jones at all costs, and they mean that, what do you say to that?
I say that's a foolish way to build your roster. I would say try to keep Aaron Jones on your own terms. And whatever that means, if you value Aaron Jones as a $6 million guy, maybe $7 million, right? Which is still pretty respectable for a 30-year-old running back. Then give him that. Give him maybe an extra $500K. Give him an extra $1 million. Something very reasonable, but not over the top. Certainly not in the 12 he's doing right now. I would say for someone like Aaron Jones, give him a little frosting. Just give him a little treat, but do not give him a full cake because
frosting. Because I love the frosting.
Yeah, just a little bit of frosting, a little bit of taste, a little something to make him happy that he's here, but you cannot give him this full package. You cannot overpay a 30-year-old running back that has an injury history all of a sudden. And let us not forget, if we just look at his regular season stats, I mean, this was one of the worst years of his career. 2 rushing touchdowns. 1 receiving touchdowns in the regular season. Now, we had a good playoff run, obviously, with 3 rushing touchdowns and 0 receiving, of course. But, you can keep him around, and I'd love to see him in the locker room, but you need to pay him a reasonable amount. Do not overpay him. So if someone says to me, at any cost, we need to keep Aaron Jones, I think that's foolish.
800-990-3776, 800-990-ESPN. That's the ESPN Wisconsin talking text line. As always, streaming on YouTube at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee. Would you want to bring back Aaron Jones at all costs?
What are your thoughts?
It's an emotional confliction,
sure
right?
Is.
Like, I have to take the emotion out of it. And Chef Ed chimes in, you cannot afford to pay him. I think that if he's willing to restructure, you bring him back. David chimes in, for me, what Green Bay does with Aaron Jones is affected by what they do with A.J. Dillon. And I cannot disagree with that more in thinking about A.J. Dillon, because I look at A.J. Dillon as replaceable. You look around the league, you can find a second down or a third down running back, a second string running back, equally or more productive than A.J. Dillon and that might fit what Matt LaFleur and the scheme are looking to do offensively. So when I look at Aaron Jones, oh man, I've loved him as a Green Bay Packer. He's so likable, right?
Sure
and,
is.
And what I love about him, he's a dual threat guy. He can catch passes, and he's a dual threat running back. And when I say that, I mean that. Like, you can toss it to him on the edge, and he can run between the tackles. And he's not Derrick Henry size. Like, he's a little bit smaller, but he's strong. He's shifty. He can make guys miss. He can finish through contact. So I appreciate everything Aaron Jones has been. But when you ask me that question, it's hard. It's hard because I wouldn't do it, right? Like, I would not do it, especially when he's looking at the $12 million that is due. And that's a lot for a guy that wasn't on the team from an availability standpoint for 60 to 70% of the regular season. And think about the success that they had. Now, I know he was key later in the regular season and the playoff games, but that's not enough for $12 million at a position that continues to be devalued. And from a price perspective, maybe not from a usage perspective, there's just so many of them. There are. You can find guys on rookie or second-year guys that come out of nowhere every single year. Nobody likes talking about fantasy football, but a lot of people play fantasy football. And what's the first thing that you do after week 1 in the NFL football season?
You find the waiver wire of the dudes that popped.
Because somebody's going to pop. And it's not our job to be that person to find who's going to pop in week 1. It's Goody's job to be that guy, whether it's through the draft or whether it's a free agent or whether it be a top-tier free agent, because there's the Josh Jacobs, there's the Derrick Henrys, there's the Austin Ecklers, Tony Pollards,
Saquon Barkley.
And some of the names I'm not saying are as good as Aaron Jones, but could they, at a lesser price, have a big enough impact where you can also find a second running back to pair with them, so it's a tandem that works within Matt LaFleur's offense. So I lean, unless it comes down to 6 to 8 million. I love you, Aaron Jones, but this is the way the business works.
Because in reality, too, think about, it's a hard salary cap. So if you pay Aaron Jones 10 or more, you have to think about, what else could I be getting at 10 or more million dollars? You could get a top-tier running back at that. You could draft one in the first couple rounds, but they're going to need to draft one regardless. Or, even more tangibly, you could put that money to offensive line, so which helps the running game, which helps the passing game. So this is the reality of the running back market in the NFL. They're important, they're productive, but when it comes to actual dollar value on who they are, especially as they get older, they just get devalued really quickly. Isaiah Pacheco, 7th-round draft pick. Aaron Jones himself was a 5th-round draft pick. They're able to find in the draft. You can find value in free agency. I want to keep Aaron Jones around, but only in a way that's advantageous to the Green Bay Packers. Anything over 10, for sure, is not advantageous to the Green Bay Packers.
800-990-3776. I see a response coming in regards to Aaron Jones, because I get it. I love him. It took a lot for me to actually spit out my words about how I feel, because I'm with Brad. It's got to be fiscally responsible for an older running back, looking at what the other market running backs out there on the market are, and how you can find a lot of guys young out of the draft that can make an impact. And if this offensive line is as good as we think, and as Matt LaFleur is as good as we think, he'll be able to make something work. 800-990-3776. I got another question for you on the other side as regards to Aaron Jones. That's next.
Football guy.
Good morning, Tausch. How are you?
Football guy.
Old tease a little.
Ben Brust here for Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. It's been over 4.5 years I've worked with Zimbrick European, and it's time for you to stop on by and check out all the inventory they have to offer. You can also go to ZimbrickEuropean.com for certified pre-owns, Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, electric vehicles. They literally have it all for you. It's your one-stop shop. Don't forget about Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans as well. Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Check it out. You will enjoy it.
Make it a real Mad March with a playoff payout at Potawatomi. Every week you could score your share of $100,000 in cash and free play. Play this March for drawing entries. Win each Thursday. Plus, the prizes refresh every week for even more winners. The playoff payout at Potawatomi, Milwaukee. It's anyone's game. For more details, visit paysbig.com/payout. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Wow, Brad. Wow.
What's that?
Just put it up 2 minutes ago, 50 votes in. If Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, and Derrick Henry were all offered the same contract by the Packers, which would you want?
I'm so intrigued of what this is going to be.
90% Aaron Jones. No! 10% Josh Jacobs. 0%. We're 50 votes in. 0% in 2 minutes said Derrick Henry. And they're the same age.
We're talking about the Titans' Derrick Henry, right? Like, people know on the poll that's who we're talking about, is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, the guy that has been in the MVP conversation, who's been All-Pro, who's been Pro Bowler, who's been Offensive Player of the Year candidate, who has won Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, he has never scored less than 10 rushing touchdowns since his second year when he was sharing a backfield. I mean, the dude is a
I love Aaron Jones.
Love him.
But come on, guys.
If you listen, Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry.
Josh Jacobs is also so much younger.
Yes, Josh Jacobs, 26 to their 30. Right? I get a 30-year-old running back, but Derrick Henry has proven he can stay healthy, he can be productive, he can be a feature back without any concern of who back number 2 is. With Aaron Jones, I love Aaron Jones, but I'm always concerned with who is running back 2 because I know some way, somehow the Packers are going to need him. Listen, if you can put Derrick Henry in the backfield for the same dollar value that you can get Aaron Jones,
do you know how good that would be for Jordan Love?
You can lean on him for 25 carries a game, and he will gladly take them. And he is going to make the other defenders be fearful back there. Maybe bring all the box,
safeties up,
and then let Love just
carve
throttle everybody. That is utterly shocking.
70 votes. We have 5% Josh Jacobs, 4% Derrick Henry, 90% Aaron Jones.
This might not be popular, but put me in the camp of Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry. I mean, if we're talking about $10 million, $9 million, which would be overpaying Aaron Jones and probably right around the appropriate range for Jacobs and Henry, give me those guys. They've proven they can be elite and stay on the field. Now, look, you miss out on Aaron Jones's locker room charisma, let's call it, right? Which is valuable to a young team. But you know what is really valuable? Is winning, is not locking up too much cap in an old running back that just can't seem to stay healthy. Guys will take ownership of it really, really quickly, even if a guy like Aaron Jones leaves the locker room. Vital last year, and I want him back, but not if I could have Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. Think about what that would do for our running game. It would be unbelievable.
I'm speechless. Alan in Milwaukee, you're not speechless. 800-990-3776. Welcome into Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Hey,
good.
Hey, what up?
First, real quick, I would have taken a flyer on J.K. Dobbins. That guy runs really hard, and I would love to have him on the squad.
Coming off an Achilles?
Nope. I want a little bit more of a sure thing.
Hey, if I can get him on a discount.
All right, I like the discount idea because right now we got a lot of money flying at running backs in terms of our poll of Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, and Derrick Henry because they're likely going to be around the 8 to 10 million area. But go ahead, Alan.
This is partly why I dislike talking about the NFL sometimes because these guys like to talk out of both sides of their mouth because they'll take a guy who has proven themselves like the running back on any team and say, well, it's great he's proved himself, but we can't give him any money. But then they'll take the quarterback who hasn't done a thing and say, we got to give him all the money in the world. And it doesn't make any sense.
It's because contracts.
Because, I mean, you take Jordan Love, right? And I'm just saying, if you take his numbers, he's got pretty much the same numbers as quarterbacks 8 through probably 20. You look at the list of quarterbacks in there, you'll find 3 or 4 guys that are called mediocre, but he's got the same numbers. And if you look at the Packers offense, whether it was Love, whether it was Rodgers, the offense looks to be pretty good. But the one common denominator was when Jones wasn't out there, that offense looked pretty pedestrian, regardless of who the quarterback was.
Yeah, look, Alan.
So clearly, we could find another quarterback.
Alan, I disagree. I know what you're trying to say in terms of looking at Jordan 8 through 20 over the course of the entire season, but that's like you're also looking at Jordan Love as a first-year starter and building upon what he had with the roster, what he's able to do with the young pieces. Like it's not you don't just like throw Jordan Love in the look at him versus all the quarterbacks, look at his numbers. You have to take into account the age, the situation, what you're getting for 4 or 5 years if you lock someone like him up versus someone whom he may have been next to in the stats like a Baker Mayfield because he had Jordan had a slow start to the year. That's not fair, and Brad, you have a better point than me.
Yeah, contracts are inherently forward-looking. They are projecting the level by which you are likely going to play.
Or you're just saying what I'm saying much more articulately.
Yeah, exactly right. Where they project the dollar value by which you're going to produce over the contract. So that's why you look at a guy like Aaron Jones, who's 30, and you don't give him money based on what he's already produced because he's not going to be able to reproduce that at from age 30 to 34 from what he did at 26 to 30. So, and honestly, too, I feel like I can make the exact opposite of that point where quarterbacks are incredibly hard to find. You can't just find another quarterback. But running backs, you can find them anywhere, whether it be the massive free agency pool that are there or all the guys that get drafted every year that are fresh legs, hungry, willing to prove themselves, and you can get them at every level of the draft from the first round to the 7th round. I mean, there are guys that even go undrafted to go out there, run hard, and produce. So I think you can find running backs anywhere. You need more of them. There's higher risk of injury. So to me, we got our quarterback, and they're hard to find. Running backs, though, I mean, it's forward-looking contract.
And definitely don't want to overspend because you're able to find younger guys, whether it's through the draft or picking guys up that come out of nowhere. Like you got to work that unless you have a sure thing. And the sure thing, unfortunately, has been injuries over the last 2 years for Aaron Jones, despite how much I love him. 800-990-3776 on Twitter at KBN ESPN, up to 180 votes. If Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, and Derrick Henry were all offered the same contract by the Packers, which would you want? 85% Aaron Jones, 6% Josh Jacobs. Derrick Henry slowly climbing up the ladder to 8%. Let's go to Tom in North Carolina, 800-990-3776. You're on, Kyle, Brust, Nortman. No, Kyle.
Hey, guys, how we doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
Doing good. 3 reasons why I would sign Aaron Jones to the contract. Number one, the veteran in the locker room. Number two, I personally take into consideration that he didn't really play a lot this last season, so the wear and tear on his body isn't, we give him another year. But number three, I look at what he brings out of the backfield. He's another pass catcher who knows the system out of the backfield. So for $10 million, I found him in a heartbeat over the other two.
Now, thank you, Tom, in North Carolina. Now, here's the caveat, obviously, is Aaron Jones is under contract. They'd have to restructure him and figure out a way to make it work, or they're going to cut him. And he's going to look at the open market. And who knows, I think Goody right now, if I'm Goody, I think he's willing to cut him and say, hey, test the open market if you really think you're going to get more than what we're going to be open to restructuring you with. And if we do restructure you and give you $8 million, are you going to get $8 million somewhere where you're unhappy, where you don't get to play on a team that you think has a chance to make an NFC North divisional title run, get another chance at going to an NFC champ? Like there are a ton of different reasons as to why, if they do restructure Aaron Jones, why I like it more than if they're like, all right, same contract being offered, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, probably around $10 million. Who are you going to take? I'm taking somebody different.
Yeah, I agree. And when it comes to Aaron Jones, it's a nice to have for the Packers to be able to have a guy like that in the locker room. But I think the Packers own the power in this dynamic because Aaron Jones wants to be, and he's probably going to elicit more money for the Green Bay Packers given their relationship. But if you just put Aaron Jones, the player, and he'll bring something good to any locker room for sure. But based on his stats, based on his injury history, based on his lack of reliability, he's not going to get as much as the Packers are willing to offer. That's why I do think this will have a happy ending. I do think he will take that pay cut, and I do think the Packers will be happy with it.
2 years in a row, though.
I think he knows. I think he knows that he can't get $8 million on the open market. I just don't think. I don't think he can. I think he knows.
And also, it's a tough sell. It is a tough sell to another team, other than the evidence of those. But again, this is the jobs of general managers in the NFL. They don't get caught in the fandom that we feel and see the last 3 games. The first game of the season, he pulled his hammy on 4th and 3, catching a pass on a slant, lined up on the out of the backfield against the Bears, and pulled up on the touchdown, grabbing his hammy. And then he wasn't around. And then when he did play, he was on the pitch count. And I remember this vividly. They ran an end around with Aaron Jones, and he almost got killed. I was like, he's on a pitch count, and you're putting my guy in jeopardy like that? Let's just keep it, off tackle for a second here.
Totally.
And then obviously the knee injury, where he battled back for his team, and what he did was amazing. Like, having 2 injuries at that age and producing for the team, that's wonderful. But we have to remember, it's not for long. Mark Tauscher, Brian Balaga, who will have, later today. They'll all tell you it's tough, and it's tough when you get up in age, especially in the running back position, which is being devalued in the marketplace as is. 800-990-3776, 800-990-ESPN, on Twitter at KBN ESPN. If Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, and Derrick Henry were all offered the same contract by the Packers, which would you want? Fascinated by these results. We'll continue to hit on that, dive deeper with you, KBN Nation, plus get to the KBN Academy. This is Kyle Brust and Nortman with just Ben Brust and Brad Nortman.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN.
And I'm sure he'll offer this opportunity again.
Absolutely
What are you going to
not.
sell? What are you going to say to Ben Brust?
I'm saying, you don't get your hand on my goddamn face. No. It's a no. I can say it in different languages. No, no, no.
Mitch or whatever it is.
I don't know.
Nine. That's a firm way to say no.
Nine. Next time we say nine.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Join the collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere at Stoughton Trailers. With positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Stoughton Health, in collaboration with patient and family advisors, seeks to advance the healthcare experience at Stoughton Health by providing a forum for past patients and families to provide feedback on a variety of healthcare and other related topics. Advisors offer constructive feedback on their personal journey at Stoughton Health, helping to elevate the patient experience and increase satisfaction. Interested? Please call Amy at 608-873-2308.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
When you go, let me know. Making you good timing, getting all physical. I can do that, so try me. And when the sun comes out,
Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. No Kyle. Ben Brust here, alongside Brad Nortman. 800-990-ESPN. 800-990-3776. On Twitter at KBN. People love Aaron Jones. And I do too. I just don't know if I agree with this. If Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry were all offered the same contract by the Packers, which would you want? 82% say Aaron Jones, 9% say Josh Jacobs, and 9% say Derrick Henry.
Oh, wow! I just wonder if KBN Nation out there, if you were Goody, and you were legitimately building the team, and you have this cap dollar that once that dollar's gone, it's not coming back. If you still feel that way, if you were the one making the decision, because what those other two guys can bring to the table, dollar value equal, I think they offer more production and more reliability. I'm going to be honest. I love
Derrick
Aaron
Henry.
Jones.
So I'll argue against Derrick Henry because I've seen it a little bit here. There is the element of he's got a ton more carries and a ton more workload. That could equal the idea that even though he's as old as Aaron Jones has a lot less wear and tear.
That's true. I could also argue that that just goes to show that Derrick Henry can carry the load, though. He can stay healthy and he can be a feature back.
He is a load.
You can give him all those carries, and he's proven that he can handle a lot more. Because
Aaron Jones is the heart and soul of this team. You gotta be ready for this, and I understand KBN Nation and Packer Nation. I love Aaron Jones, but he was not available this year. And if they don't find a way to restructure him, I'm cutting him. I'm not paying him the $12 that he's due in the $17 million cap hit.
You cannot give him the 12. At a bare minimum, I hope we can all agree you can't give him 12.
I don't think at a bare minimum you're going to get everyone to agree.
That is an absolutely premium running back deal. But the reality is, he is the heartbeat of the team, for sure, in 2023. At some point, that baton needs to be passed. It needs to be Tucker Kraft. It needs to be Jordan Love. It needs to be one of these receivers to take on that new, whoever the Donald Driver is, whoever the Aaron Jones is. Somebody needs to be that new guy. It needs to be passed on, because either way you do this with Aaron Jones, this is going to be a short-term solution. Even if they restructure it and he's back next year, I would say it's more likely than not that's his last year. They're going to draft somebody else, and the slow transition.
They should draft somebody else regardless.
For sure.
I'm 90% sure A.J. Dillon won't be back with the team in whatever scenario happens here, and even all these hypotheticals.
I just wonder if all the fans that are saying we want him back, and I get it. I get the appeal. I love me some Aaron Jones, and he is. I'll never forget when I think it was Wicks who was hanging his head after a drop. And he went up to him, basically picked his head up. I think that was end of October, maybe.
Yep.
And that was a huge moment, right?
The other moment that comes to mind was when Jaden Reed, yes, I believe he mentioned, you make me want to play harder and tougher. You make me want to block for you. You're getting he does have the ability to reach teammates, but if he's not on the field,
exactly,
and you pay him $12 million, you look stupid as a GM, and you're not helping your team if you really just don't bring back A.J. Dillon and then get handicapped, no pun intended, by having too much cap taken up by Aaron Jones if you don't find a way to restructure.
Because there's no doubt he's productive when he's on the field. If he played 16 games and he looked like he did most of the way down the stretch, I would say for sure, maybe not 12, but $10 million. Give the man $10 million. The reality, he's not on the field as often as they need him. When he's 100%, might have only been 6 games this year. You would rather have a guy who's actually in the trenches with everybody than who is a heartbeat behind the scenes. You got to have a guy on the field for production and for leading.
800-990-3776. Adam in the 608 chimes in. Jones' value in the passing game, blocking alone, puts him above the other two in reference to our poll of Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry. Look, I know, again, I saw and I heard all the clips. There was a clip from the Super Bowl week, and Jordan Love was talking about with Micah Parsons, who is the stud defensive lineman, defensive end, edge, linebacker, every position imaginable for the Cowboys is Micah Parsons. But Jones would pick him up on blocks, and it wasn't even his assignment. And these are all good points, KBN Nation. But Ron the Key, I'll give him this. You simply cannot pay for a running back in today's NFL. Much better to pay for a good O-line and have more benefit than any running back. Because, again, you mentioned it, Brad, Isaiah Pacheco, 7th-round draft pick from Kansas City, right? And
he looks good.
And are we just going to ignore the fact that everyone's so gung-ho about Goody's ability to find young talent in the last 2 drafts, right?
Yeah.
Impactful young wide receivers and tight ends? Telling me he can't do it with the running back position? I'm not saying that you shouldn't also sign somebody, because there is a lot of free agent running backs, but I also think you could probably find one that makes an impact year one.
There's a lot of running backs out there in the draft, whether it be 1st round or the 7th round. There's a lot of meat on that bone, and they're fresh and they're hungry and they want to prove and they want to get paid. Look, do I think Aaron Jones would be a great one-year mentor to someone like that? Absolutely, and I would love to see that. But maybe that's where you give him an incentive-laden deal. Give him $4 million and easily attainable incentives. But that's going to be a slap in the face.
60%?
Running back.
60% of snaps?
Seems like something very reasonable.
I mean,
to
that's what they
ask.
did for Rodgers in the trade with the Jets.
The thing is,
that's what they did with Jordan Love's contract incentives.
They did. It goes over easier with younger guys than older guys, though, because older guys inherently know 60%, I don't know if I'm going to make that. So they look at that contract as money I'm not going to be able to earn. But it's
that's the reason why you have to protect yourself as an organization.
And that's exactly what the concern is for the Green Bay Packers. There's no doubt when he's healthy and he is capable, his production is off the charts, but that doesn't happen often enough. Not often enough for a Super Bowl caliber team. I mean, look, even a guy like, this is an extreme case, but Christian McCaffrey. The dude takes a beating, but he's out there all the time. So you need somebody out there who you can rely on. You can't hope for A.J. Dillon to be a feature back. You need a plan A, a plan B. One needs to be found in the draft. One needs to be a reasonable, aging veteran.
And a lot of Braylon Allen love as well. I think, again, we are stuck in Wisconsin, and I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm living here. But Aaron Jones came as a 5th-round pick from UTSA, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's correct.
So
UTEP.
UTEP. Yeah. And do we? And you make it a good point, Ben. Don't we trust Goody? Like he might not be able to.
Not right now, according to KBN Nation.
He might not be able to prove that he can find elite defensive players. But offensive weaponry, shoot. I mean, he's done an unbelievable job. Imagine if he can have some of that secret sauce with a running back, a playmaking running back like he did with the tight ends and the wide receivers. We'd all be cheering and applauding him. I think he can pull that off. I think he has an eye for offensive skill. I'd love to see him use that in the first, 5 to 7 picks. Feel good to have a young running back there.
Yeah, did you happen to, I know you had a busy weekend. Did you have a chance before you sat down and was getting ready for the rest of the week to enjoy a carbless?
I did. Friday night, after a long work week, I had a carbless. Saturday, we had some family over. We had a bunch of kids over. All the family was over. You know what they were asking for? Where's the carbless at?
Well, you said a lot of kids. Make sure they're 21 plus.
Well, there were a lot of kids. The kids were over there doing something. The adults were over here
juice
drinking
box.
carblesses. Yeah, the kids were enjoying their juice boxes. Us adults, everyone's asking for carbless. That's because the secret's out. The secret is out on carbless. They know they can find it in the Nortman fridge. You know you can find it online and at retailers near you. That's because once you've tasted it, you know what I'm talking about. You know that flavor that just hits differently on the weekend or on an evening night. Man, it's so good. There is something for everybody, from the berry collection of strawberry and pineapple and lemon lime and black cherry, all the way to the classic cocktails, which I got into a little bit this weekend, a little margarita and Paloma, a Moscow Mule. It was so good. Everyone tastes it for the first time, and you get it upon first taste. But not only that, you feel good with drinking it. That guilt that's associated with drinking, you just do not having. Less carbonation, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 100 calories per can, and gluten-free, made right here in the state of Wisconsin, which I love. Carbless, it's time that you finally take that taste because the secret is out. Everybody else knows about it. Time that you take your taste. Check out Carbless at online and retailers near you and find out why less is more.
If Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry were all offered the same contract by the Green Bay Packers, who would you want? 82% say Aaron Jones. 82%. 9% Josh Jacobs, and 9% Derrick Henry. We'll continue to have this conversation. We got KBN Academy. Cheers to pour one out. Jason Wilde, Brian Balaga, a whole lot more on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Stay tuned.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Things ever happened to you from a breakup?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, no.
I don't want to talk about it.
You brought it, so I had to ask.
I ain't gonna put my old shorties on blast. But
why not? They're old shorties.
I've had some
old shorties.
My parents listen to this show. I don't want my parents to know the craziness that I've dealt with that they son been a part of.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. The University of Wisconsin will be receiving a new indoor practice facility following approval by the State Building Commission announced Wednesday. The project, worth $285 million, is currently in the design phase, with construction scheduled to begin in 2025. The new practice facility will include replacement of the Camp Randall Memorial Sports Center, which opened in 1954, and the practice field in the McLean Center, which opened back in 1988. According to the school, the facility will impact the training for the majority of Wisconsin's 23 varsity sports and 800 student athletes.
Get no interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Don't wait. You have to order by March 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100x on your money. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players, sports, and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. No matter what sports you're into, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis, Prize Picks has a game for you. And Prize Picks even offers injury insurance so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Download the app today and use the promo code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WI on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Hey, hungry? And your heart is ticking for chicken? Well, take a quick turn into Quick Trip, because we got no ordinary chicken. Yeah, go wild with wings. Next level super wings with trusty sidekick and sauces. Or let's talk tender. Quick Chick tenders. Love me tenders. Love me some Quick tenders. Ours are bigger, better, tastier. Or if you're feeling good old school comfort fried chicken, we got it. Hand breaded, down homier than anywhere. Quick Trip, saving your nuggets from ordinary.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
And make sure.
We'll continue to talk about what you would want to bring Aaron Jones back at from a contractual value, cap hit, restructure. If all were equal, who would you want? We got it all today around Aaron Jones, and I get it. I love Aaron Jones. You love Aaron Jones. But the price has got to be right. And that is my favorite TV show when I can sit on my couch and 10 a.m. comes around.
Good choice. Loved me some Bob Barker. So good.
So, I mean, he's legend.
That was a sick, like, when you're feeling sick, staying from home, rite of passage. I mean, everybody had to watch Price is Right. There's just, even now, I can, like,
Soup,
see it.
Sprite, and Price is
like
Right.
a quilt, a blanket kind of up to your chin.
Yep. Hole in one
Good old
or
days.
two. Plinko. I mean,
so good.
All
I
great.
remember the showcase showdowns when they would talk about all these trips and a car and a 4x4 and whatever. My mind was blown. I was like, man, this person hits the mother load.
Well, yeah,
it's living.
I hated when somebody got absolutely. I want to use a bad word. Didn't get a good showcase, and the other, like, you know, you could always tell who got the worst
There was one that
showcase.
was usually better than the other.
I know. Yeah. One day, let's go to The Price is Right.
Ooh, I'm in.
Come on down. It's time to play KBN Academy.
In radio, our goal's pretty simple.
Just so you know, we really suck.
Have an A show or an F show.
Hey, I'll decide who sucks around here.
The same goes for topics in this next segment. This is the KBN Academy.
Those that can't do, teach.
It is the KBN Academy. Chris is going to ask Brad and I questions. We're your professors. We hand out A's or F's. No B's, C's, or D's, or anywhere else in between. Chris, kick it off.
All right, guys, let's start off here on today's KBN Academy. In the very near future, the NFL could replace the chain gangs with tracking technology for line-to-gain rulings. A or F, you'd be fine with taking the human element out of the game.
Give me an A for this, actually. I'm a little bit of usually an NFL historian, want to keep it nostalgic. But look, this is a pretty archaic way to measure the first down, right? You got the chain gang. They go out there. They're putting the thing in the ground over the football. It creates a little drama. I will miss that. Like, is it an inch? Is it a foot? Did the nose of the ball hit it? But it's so inaccurate. I would rather just have the speed of the game faster, right? You can, right wherever you mark it, the lasers can tell exactly where it is, if it's a first down
The
or not.
lasers?
Yeah.
You know how this works? You're just saying the word laser and everything's fixed?
It could put some lasers on the field
Lasers.
and make this thing move a little faster because it feels a little bit archaic to me.
Fire the laser!
The laser.
I'm an F here. I have trust issues, and I have trust issues with the idea of, like, I've heard the chip in the ball, Brad's just yelling lasers, like, when there's 5 guys in a pile, how does the ball know, like, where it's at on the field in coordination with the line to gain? How does the ball know when the knee was down? You know, I'm like...
lasers.
Lasers? What do you, like, you can't just say, do you get my point?
Yeah, I do.
When the knee is down, how does the ball know that?
Well,
how does the ball or the technology know knee was down, stop? We can barely see it on TV when the knee is down sometimes.
The umpire still places the ball, but instead of the chain group running out there and measuring it, I think it's like compares it to where the first down was originally. I mean, look, I get that this will open up conspiracy theories and, like, betting concerns and the whole thing. It just feels like, to me, if you can take advantage of some
lasers.
Some lasers. I want some lasers, all right? Might as well do it.
laser.
Thank you, Dr. Eva.
I mean the laser!
I mean the laser! Yeah, I'm an F. I don't like it. Brad just wants the...
I just want lasers.
Lasers. Are those sharks with laser beams attached to their heads?
Nice.
All right, let's finish up KBN Academy here. The NFL reportedly is also planning to push for an 18-game regular season during the next CBA negotiations. ARF, going to 18 regular season games is a terrible idea.
F, but it depends on who you ask. If you ask like a Mark Tauscher, who is all about players and player safety, and if you ask NFL players who like money but also care about their player safety and their health, they're gonna say F, or they're gonna say, hey, it's a terrible idea. But I'm an F. You know why? Because I am a consumer, and call me heartless or not, I love football. If there was another extra week of the NFL, I would watch it. And I don't care about player safety, sorry, because the NFL doesn't. It's not my job to. My job is to be a fan and consume the product. And I do a really good job with 3 TVs, Sunday NFL Ticket, local game TV 1, local game TV 2, TV 3 right in the middle, the bigger one. My numbers are wrong on the TVs, but you get what I'm saying. I got it all on. And I'm going to be really good at sitting on the couch and watching that 18th game.
Look, this is an F for me as well. At some point, there will be such thing as too much football, but we have not gotten there yet. We have not hit that threshold. I'm not even sure we're close to that threshold.
Really? You were in locker rooms with guys who had, who you probably saw them
from a consumer standpoint.
Okay, all right.
Because I'm a consumer now,
You're a
Benny.
consumer now.
I'm no longer a player. So
and
from a
you
consumer
played
standpoint,
6 years in the league?
Yeah.
I think you got all their benefits and everything.
I got all the benefits. So let's just make the league more money, baby. Let's make the league more money. Look, us consumers, this is a big F. I want to see more football. I love football. Give me more football. When it comes to the players, you're right. Most of them are going to be against it because this is becoming a lot of games for players. But I think once as you show them, hey, that means the cap's going to go up by $40 million because we have a lot more revenue, a lot more games, a lot more sponsorships. When you kind of do that on a per player basis, might mean that they might make an extra $200K. Is that worth an extra game? I think money talks a little bit. I think they're going to make it happen. I think it's going to get to 18, and I think it's going to be more money in people's pockets. Because let's be honest, most NFL players, they just want to squeeze as much out of it as they possibly can because they know it's short. So I think when it comes down to it, how can we get more money? Because we're not here for long. So I think they might be down for it. I know I'm down for it. The punters are all down for it. All the specialists can agree.
The kickers, the
More
punters,
games.
and the long snappers are all for it.
We want more games. There's plenty of fuel in those tanks for the specialists. Those are going to be, how many teams are there? 32? That's going to be 96 yeses from the specialists, at least.
There it is. Diana McGuanago, 800-990-3776. Welcome to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Kyle's number one fan.
Good afternoon, boys.
Hey, Diana.
I want Aaron Jones. I think what they're going to do is they're going to restructure his contract, and because he's been there for so long and he's happy, he considers it home, I think he'll stay.
I think that's a good, happy medium of reading the room and understanding that there has to be a happy medium. He's not going to be brought back at $12 million. He's got to be restructured. But if he doesn't feel like he's appropriately being valued by Goody, he could test the open market. You'd said you think there's going to be a happy ending. We'll continue to dive deeper. 800-990-3776. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. We will be back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania. The boys basketball postseason continues with Stoughton and Mount Horeb meeting in the Division II sectional semifinal. Don't miss it Thursday at 7 o'clock on 100.5 ESPN and video streaming free on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. The Milwaukee Bucks, winners of 5 in a row, they take their talents out west as they begin a 4-game road trip tonight against the Los Angeles Clippers. This will be their first of 2 games against the Clips, with matchups against the Warriors and the Lakers between. Tip-off tonight scheduled for 7 p.m. with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 on Madison's exclusive home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Things aren't quite as hot for the team that calls Madison home as the Badgers, still reeling from another tough defeat at the hands of the Illinois Fighting Illini. Their 7th defeat in 9 tries. Woof. Only 2 more chances to right the ship before postseason play beginning this Thursday in the home finale against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Tip-off is slated for 6 p.m. And finally in baseball, the Brewers, they have a day off before taking on the Giants tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studios in Madison, this is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Brust and Norman, hope you're enjoying a great Monday. No Kyle. Back tomorrow. But he flies sketch planes, so who knows?
Where does he fly again? I don't even remember.
He's got the Frontier Pass.
Oh, yeah, the Frontier Pass. He stayed up.
I didn't mean that from a plane. I meant from like a scheduling.
Yeah, because in order to take advantage of the good pricing, he like stayed up past midnight to like quickly buy the deal. I mean, whatever it is, it sounds like it's an absurd amount of loops to jump through, even being a member. I mean, like I give it to Kyle. He figured it out, but it sounds more painful than what it's worth.
I agree. But I don't want to know anything else about it because it sounds like a disaster. And I'm just going to let that be his disaster.
Yeah.
That's Brad Nortman, longtime NFL punter. I'm Ben Brust. And Brad, you were driving around, and you saw something that caught your eye.
I did. And maybe this driver is out there listening to us right now over the airwaves. But I was driving around, and I keep my head on a swivel like I do because I'm a good, safe driver, generally speaking. And I was driving behind someone, and there was a license plate. This car had a license plate like we all do, but it wasn't the traditional Wisconsin, America's Dairyland license plate. It was the Packer-themed license plate. So we're talking yellow in color with the big Packer G on the side of it. And it wrote on the license plate.
Well, don't say it precisely.
Okay.
Just in case we're giving away a true license plate.
Good idea.
But
I don't know what the laws are against that, but it basically made a reference to, on a Wisconsin-themed license plate, Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers, 12, and just giving him a whole lot of love. Like, that's my quarterback type of thing.
Flag on the play.
My thoughts exactly. I was driving that. My first thought was, man, I wonder if this guy approaches his car every time and just feels a little bit of shame, a little bit of regret. He must regret that decision because he probably got it after the fourth MVP, right, in 2021, and thinking, this can't go wrong, right?
But I would argue if he got it after a 4th MVP, no matter what you feel about Aaron Rodgers, he's made you feel something. He's either at one point made you mad, at one point made you happy, at one point you've agreed with him, at one point you've disagreed with him. So, like, he's very all over the place in how he makes you feel about him as a Green Bay Packer and as a person. However you feel, however you think, he's hit all the motions.
So you're saying this is more of an unconditional love that this guy might have because the roller coaster ride was ridden with Aaron Rodgers.
Now, what I will say is it's much easier, and I don't know if this is out there, J Love 10. That's 7 letters.
It seems like
that's got
to age well too.
If
right?
that's out there, somebody go get it.
It makes me think too. When I was a player, I signed with Jacksonville, and there was a Florida license that was a Jacksonville Jaguar one, And apparently I got there, and all the guys are starting to say to me, look, when you retitle your car in Florida, don't get a Jags license plate. I like just go with anything else but a Jags license plate.
The Sunshine State.
The Sunshine State. And I was like, why? I wasn't planning on doing it, but they're like, why? Why is everyone so against it? It was something of like Jaguar lore in the locker room. They're like legitimately the last 7 or 8 guys that got drafted or signed in the Jaguars and retitled their cars and got a Jags license plate. They were all released in 12 months. It was like the kiss of death in Jacksonville, Florida, if you're a Jaguar, is to get the Jaguar license plate. It just makes me think, man, you need to be a lifer on this kind of thing if you're going to get a Packer license plate, which I love, but put an ode to Aaron Rodgers on it. If you're a pro player, which is inherently short term, and get a Jaguar license plate, it feels like you're being set up to make a bad decision. And for a lot of those guys before me in Jacksonville, it was the kiss of death. And so, I ended up being released anyway after 2 years. But at least it wasn't because
it would have been 1 year if you would have gotten the license plate.
Exactly. At least it wasn't because of the license plate. I earned myself another year.
800-990-3776. Let's get this out on Twitter as well, Chris. Do you judge people with personalized license plates?
Ooh, good question.
Because I do.
Okay.
Because I was one of them.
No.
Now, I know everyone won't believe me. Ben Brust, Brad Nortman, Chris Larson, Kyle Brust and Nortman, 800-990-3776. Stream on YouTube at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee. Brad saw an Aaron Rodgers 12 type license plate, and it got me thinking, as he didn't want to get a Jaguars license plate because it was a kiss of death towards his NFL career if he did. When I graduated, when I signed to go play basketball at the University of Iowa.
Oh, no.
So I'm in high school, Brad. And my dad and my brother got me a personalized license plate. I swear it wasn't me. Hawkeye 11.
No!
Oh, wow!
That is so cringeworthy, especially knowing how the story unfolds. So let me guess. You put it on your car, you're driving around your high school campus, proud as can be.
I think it was HWK EY11, because it had to be like Hawkeye 11.
Was your number in high school 11?
No, I was 1, but I've always been 1 my entire career, and
Okay.
I was at Wisconsin.
Right.
But 1 was taken at Iowa, so I knew I was going to have to be a different jersey number. So I was planning on being 11 when I got to Iowa.
Oh, wow.
Let's get nuts! So then...
Did you drive with that license plate?
My entire senior year of high school.
Oh, man.
Douche alert?
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Every time you drive by. It's
Cool.
just cool.
Loser,
Yeah,
loser,
dude.
loser.
Well, I mean, did people actively give you a hard time for that? They must have.
Probably behind my back.
Yeah. If you commit
Now
to a
wait.
school, oh no,
It gets worse.
No, come on, Ben.
So I decommit from the University of Iowa in March because the head coach at the Iowa basketball program that I committed to was fired.
You were committed for how long?
July going into my senior year to March of my senior year. So,
Pretty long time.
9-ish months. 8 to 9 months. Oh God. So then I committed to the University of Wisconsin and was on campus. I would say if end of March Madness, mid-March, the coach got fired. March, April, May, on campus in June, I already had a new license plate.
Oh, jeez. Let me guess.
You can guess.
Bucky 1. That's probably actually already taken.
Oh, this one's so cringe.
It can't be worse than Hawkeye 11.
UWBB1.
Oh my gosh. At what was there any point where you were like, I mean, look, a nice gift from your dad and your brother. Was this a gift as well, or is
I
this
don't remember anymore.
Was this
I might have been all in it this time because I remember going around campus. I had it for the entire 4 years on my car.
At Madison?
At Madison, Brad.
Oh.
When you were on campus with me at the University of Wisconsin, I was driving around a car with a license plate UWBB1, which could have meant UW basketball #1 or UW Ben Brust #1.
Oh my gosh! Look,
Cool.
I am not the benchmark of cool,
Cringe, cringe, cringe.
trendy, and what's awesome. But man, even I would have been on my moped behind you and been like, "Who is this loser?
Cool.
This absolute loser that has this license plate."
It takes a
Just
lot
like-
for Brad to call somebody a loser.
It does.
too.
It does.
But this is
I don't
loser.
feel good saying it, but that is loser mentality. At what point did you say,
Enough's
enough.
No,
I'm a loser.
I just embraced it, at this point. Like,
So you're.
the seniors roasted
Of
me.
course they.
The
Okay,
se-
that wasn't behind your back.
The
making
seniors
fun of.
were
That was-
like, "What a loser!" Like,
were you tempted to change it ever? Even as a freshman, when the seniors were merciless to you, rightfully so.
I mean, I think my dad was so proud that I didn't want to go back and be like, "Dad, I'm getting made fun of at school. Can you please change my license plate?"
Oh my gosh. It's not easy to change though. Once as you have it, it's a whole process. So, oh my gosh.
UWBB1.
Oh, I just hit the microphone as I was falling back in laughter. That is just like
saying it out loud makes me feel like such a dork.
You know what? Going into this conversation, you brought up the question, do you judge people for personalized license plates? And at first I was like, no, I find them to be kind of fun and as a way to show your personality. Now I dislike them. After those two stories, I officially I can no longer.
I vow to never have
I've
a personalized license plate.
Any good association I've had with personalized license plates eradicated now, just because of those Ben Brust stories. That is so cringeworthy, so painful that it's changed my perspective on something. That is not easily done.
Whew, I'm sweating.
So now when you drive and you see a personalized license plate, what do you think? Do you think that was me once and I'm thankful I'm
that
no
was me
longer?
once and you're trying too hard?
Wow. Because that's what you felt like you were doing then. Of just
Yeah,
kinda,
like you're trying too hard. You're trying to show off. Like that's what you're doing.
Do you ever make a comment
I know some people who work here that have personalized license plates, and I can't call it their license plates, but yeah.
And you judge them.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And I'll tell them. Because I was one. As a former personalized douche license plate guy, I can judge others.
Do you pay extra for a personalized license plate? I think you do.
You do.
So you have to go well beyond convenience to even make that statement, and to make the statement that you were a Hawkeye 11 and that you were a UWBB1.
My dad was so proud.
That's a cool gift.
But when the seniors were making fun of me my freshman year, and I had a big car, so they also liked that I had a car because a lot of people didn't, and we would drive to go before games to go to movies together the day before games.
Wow, UWBB1, a license plate that will live in infamy. Did you keep that license plate, or did you have to eventually turn it in? I mean, you probably turned it in.
I think I have it.
You gotta put that up in your basement or something.
No,
put that in as a place of pride.
It brings me back to memories of being made fun of.
I mean,
as you,
I want to defend you, Beck.
You can't.
I want to.
You are a defender by nature, but not here.
Oh, wow.
I need to go to the Princeton Club and go in the steam room and sweat out this anxiety of this conversation, talking about how I was one of those personalized license plate people that people looked at their car and was like, "What a loser."
Yeah, I mean,
UWBB1. Oof. Free childcare with your membership. They're open 24/7, and if you want to invest with your health, there's no better place than the Princeton Club. And you can find your passion. They offer something for everyone. They have weights, they have cardio, they have workout classes, basketball courts. I've done the personal training, and it feels great. In the moment you walk in the door, you feel the community aspect. So they're going to offer you everything you need to be successful. All it takes is the courage to walk in, get a tour, join, and you'll have all those great amenities that I talked about. Great locker rooms, cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin. Find your better tomorrow at one of the 8 Madison locations or in New Berlin in the Milwaukee area. We cheers to and pour one out, although I just want to pour one out to myself after that license plate story. Next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Ben, I've been a fan of you since Scalzo and Brust was on the air. You kind of are like a Pat McAfee for the ESPN Milwaukee. You kind of revolutionized this this channel and stuff.
Leo, I'm here for you, and I appreciate everything you say. We love you listening, and you can call in every day and say that. I won't get old.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% when you buy 10 or more select primed finger joint boards. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Card. Visit us for the materials you need. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Postseason basketball is here, and Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania has you covered every step of the way. Stream playoff games for both girls and boys basketball on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel for free, from regionals through sectionals.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, Pasquale's Cantina, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit condonjeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
At Starion Bank, they pride themselves on being a super community bank. Small enough to show they care about you and the communities they serve, while being large enough to make big things happen. With 3 Madison area branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona, Starion Bank is here investing in your community while offering valuable personal and business banking services. Start your experience with Starion Bank today by going to starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Spring will be here before you know it, and so will Marco Sicchi's 6th annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament, Saturday, May 18th on the Madison Chain of Lakes. Created to help children who are fighting cancer at American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. There's a limit of 80 boats for a fun day on the water before 2:30 happy hour at Alliant Energy Center, a silent auction, dinner, and a live auction at 4 o'clock. Help us help the kids. Casting for Kids, Saturday, May 18th. Sign up or donate at castingforkids.org.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Are you looking for a weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks? Straight from a fan favorite and a Bucks legend, you have to tune in to the Here District with Marquise Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Johnson and his son Chris, a 1995 UCLA Hoops championship himself, talk about everything there is happening in the Bucks world. And they're joined by some of the biggest names in basketball. Plus, they'll answer a lot of your questions too. This is a weekly Bucks Pulse to be able to figure out exactly what's going on from the pro perspective and a former player perspective. Stay on the beat with the Bucks and find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, on the Bucks app, or wherever you get podcasts.
He's Brad Nortman. I'm Ben Brust. We have it on Twitter at KBN ESPN. A couple of polls. Most recently, do you judge people with personalized license plates? 50-50.
Interesting.
If Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry were all offered the same contract by the Packers, which would you want? 82% Aaron Jones.
Oh, wow.
82.
That one is still mind-boggling.
I mean, I could see 55, 30, 25.
I get
that would be 110%.
Well, I get where you're going with that. Packer fans, I get, man. I love Aaron Jones, too. Got to put some respect on Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry now. Josh Jacobs was the rushing champ. Not
last year. You get what I'm saying. We're talking about the same thing.
Yes. Like, they both are highly productive. I don't think there's any character issues. Neither of them are probably the character fit for that Aaron Jones is, for sure. I mean, he is the ultimate locker room guy, and you should value that. But it's on the field
$12 million of value?
I mean, not that much value. So at some point, you got to value on the field much more so than that. And I cannot get over that.
Ernie in a barn near Ernie in a barn near Elroy chimes in as here the conversation how I have a really, really lame or had a really, really lame personalized license plate. Ben, you should have a new plate. Double Dork 1 for Dork 1. DBLD Dork. Yeah, I get what he's going.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's kind of a...
We can do better.
We can do better than that.
If you're going to personalize my license plate, which I'm open to suggestions.
I would love to hear KBN Nation's take on what Ben's new personalized license plate should be.
Yeah, what should my new personalized license plate be that I won't be doing that I'm curious to hear what you guys think?
We would all
7
judge
letters,
Ben.
7 numbers,
whatever you want to do.
However you want to put it together.
I would love to know what the brain trust that is KBN Nation can come with, because y'all always bring it. You guys always bring it, and we got to know what would Ben's personalized license plate be.
Now that it's not UWBB1 rolling around campus with Brad Nortman judging me.
Wow. I'm sure I did, honestly, too. I'm sure I was driving behind you and it was just like, this can't be real. This has to be
This has to be a huge basketball fan.
Yeah, a huge basketball fan, someone who lost their fantasy football league, like something like that, right? Nope, that was a choice.
Let's go give some cheers to and pour one out.
The weekend is over, so let's pop some bottles. It's time for Cheers to and Pour One Out on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Every weekend, we see something we like. We see something that, deserves to be poured out. And we bring it to you on Mondays. 800-990-ESPN if you have your own. Brad, what are you cheersing to?
Listen, I know I'm second place, Brad, and I was the first one to say the Milwaukee Bucks have ticked downward in my expectations. But I just got to say, I got to grab my carbless and cheers to the Milwaukee Bucks, because ever since the All-Star break, 5-game winning streak, seems like a team that's found new life, beat the rival Bulls, beat up on top-level competitors in Minnesota and
Philadelphia.
Can't call
them the rival Bulls.
Well, they're kind of the crosstown rival. Big game tonight against the LA Clippers. Big game. And then Golden State, Lakers, and Clippers again. So I'm excited for what the Bulls are doing. I'm excited for what the Bucks are doing. Not the Bulls. Forget about the Bulls. The Milwaukee Bucks, you have my cheers to. I was down on you. I was pessimistic. Grab my carbless and cheers to Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm going to cheers to my daughter.
Good cheers.
She survived. She met my brother Jonathan, the delusional Bears fan of the South.
Oh, wow.
And his 6 kids.
Oh, wow.
I won't say anything bad about his wife. She's great. But those 6 monsters. I want to hold. It was a disaster. I'm offering them snacks, and they're stealing Sour Patch Kids instead of the goldfish that her mom told them to eat. It was chaos, and my daughter survived, and she's going to love her 6 cousins. Maybe this is a cheers to, actually, my girlfriend for having to put up with the chaos in the house.
Yeah, that's patience of a saint right there.
Holy cow. I haven't felt that anxious in a long time.
Your daughter's going to be tough, though. You got to be tough with that many cousins.
I guess, but none of them are her age. So that she's going to be pampered by them because they're all going to want to, like,
That's a good point.
we play house and all that. And
She'll be the baby.
She'll be the baby taken care of. I want to start the pour one outs, though. Right now, Mr. Mom comes in as the license plate. David, thank you. I'm sorry. I did not prepare for this. I want to come back to it. I did my pour one out. I'm going to come back to my cheers to you.
Okay.
Pour one out quick.
I'm going to pour one out. The only place I'm pouring out carbless is in my mouth, so I'm not pouring it out onto the ground. But I'm going to pour out to the NFL kickoff rules. Now, it isn't a for sure thing yet, but everything is trending in the direction of a vote that's going to change NFL kickoffs, where basically they're going to take on what these like semi-pro football leagues have done, where people are going to start way down the field, 10 yards apart from one another. The kicker is going to be standing far away from everyone, kick it off, and they're going to have this like close combat kickoff return thing, basically. And because of that, you have to let the other team know when you're going to onside kick it so they can prepare for it. So surprise onside kicks are gone. The whole thing with kickoffs, it's changing right before our eyes. It makes me sad. I love the kickoff. Pour one out to the NFL kickoff as we know it because it's changing quickly. And look, I get it for NFL safety, which I love. I love player safety. It's just turning into a weird play now, though. So pour one out for NFL kickoffs.
David in the 608, he says, pour one out to the Badgers' loss in the recent slump. And I agree. I was there. It sucked to watch. But I was also there for one reason and one reason only. It was the first field trip I had taken outside of Milwaukee, leaving the 1-month-old with people we trust to go to his cheers to, which was the Howard Moore ceremony. And for those who don't know who Howard Moore is, Howard Moore was a basketball player at the University of Wisconsin. He then became an assistant coach for the University of Wisconsin and had a great career of being a coach there, took the head coaching job at the University of Illinois, Chicago, and that was when I was a freshman at the University of Wisconsin. So it's funny. We just talked about this, Brad. When I decommitted from the University of Iowa in March, there was a coach at Wisconsin, Howard Moore, who I knew was leaving to go be the head coach of the University of Illinois, Chicago. But he cared so much about the University of Wisconsin that he was my lead recruiter, even though he wasn't going to be the assistant coach next year at the university, because he loved it so much. Like, he is the ultimate Badger. The ceremony was amazing. Please go to @BadgerMBB on Twitter and watch the video. On Instagram, watch the video. They did a ceremony before the game where Matt LePay had some very powerful words about how he talked about he couldn't wait for the day that he saw Howard Moore, the former player, the former assistant coach, the associate head coach that took over for when Bo Ryan stepped down. Greg Gard needed a coach. He had just got done at UIC. Came the associate head coach for the Badgers. Horrible tragedy. Was with a lot of my teammates Saturday. Being there for Howard, seeing him, it's just I was crying before the game. It's one of those moments like life is so unfair. But to see that Howard was there, despite everything that's happened to him and whatever, he's trying to power through and continue to have breakthroughs, like, I don't even have the words to speak right now. I don't, because it's too personal. Like, it's so tough, but you have to cheers to the fact that Howard Moore, go look at the social media videos, because anything I say right now in the next 30 seconds or extra for the rest of the show won't be as powerful as seeing Coach Moore with everything he's been through, losing his wife and daughter in a car crash, and his son surviving and him going through trauma after that. He showed up. He was there. It was absolutely amazing. Thank you, David, for making sure I got that cheers to. And forget the pour one out. I mean, the Badgers are losing, but honestly, it didn't matter. I was just happy to be there. We'll be back with more Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. I didn't say that as well as I wanted to because it's hard to talk about. I love Howard Moore, and he's meant so much to me. But please, if you can, just go look at those videos at Badger Men's Basketball because he is an amazing person.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
I'm about being young, wild, and free.
No, you're not.
You're
not young, wild, and free.
Yeah,
I am young.
You're not
wild,
that.
and free.
I am
Every
wild.
time I ask you to do something, I check with a girlfriend.
Wait, why you taking shit? Why you going personal? Why you going to talk about business? I can still be free with a lady.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
Working at a company that truly cares and invests in their employees should never be taken for granted. Work, learn, and earn at the Weld School at Stoughton Trailers. The program includes 1 week of paid training starting at $18 per hour and features small class sizes designed for individual attention. No prior experience is needed because teaching their employees is all part of the Stoughton Trailers way. Graduate into a full-time position in Stoughton or Evansville. Apply today at STOjobs.com. That's STOjobs.com.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado. Or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Join the collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere at Stoughton Trailers, with positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. Go to STOjobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Tell me now, do you want it? 'Cause these dancing feet don't cry to the rhythm.
Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. No Kyle. Just Ben, Brust, and Brad Nortman, which is a treat for Jason Wilde because that means he gets more Brad. Jason Wilde joins us. You can hear him on Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon across these various stations. How are you, Jason?
Good, guys. How are you?
Doing well. We're doing well. It's been interesting having a conversation around Aaron Jones today because I love Aaron Jones. Like, he's a hard person not to like. He's a hard player not to like. But the idea of looking at this idea of not having him on a restructured deal, like people are willing to pay him the same amount of money that they would Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry. I don't know, for the availability that he's had the last year and a half. Where are you at with where's the right price for Aaron Jones?
Yeah, they can't keep him at the number he's at, and I don't think they intend to, and I don't think when this is all said and done they'll have to. Again, I understand that there was a report during the scouting combine of them talking to Drew Rosenhaus and this idea that that they might cut him if they can't reach an agreement. That's all well and good in theory, but I would be really surprised if either side gets to the point where they say, okay, well, I guess we're just going to have to cut him then. I don't envision that being the case. We all understand that's a possibility, but this is a player who wants to be here. There's a team that wants him. This is a general manager who said what general manager, Brad knows this from having been in the NFL, like NFL general managers, they don't want to confirm that today is Monday. Like, they don't want to decisively, definitively say anything, right? Because they never want to, paint themselves into a corner and the fact that Goody did that and said that he would absolutely be back, I think that tells you how strongly they feel about him. And so it's hard for me to envision them not reaching an accord. Now, how do they structure it and how does this work? That to me is the biggest question. Like, if I'm Aaron Jones and you're talking about how valuable I am, then I want to make sure that you are going to compensate me accordingly. And that means, making sure that I'm due $17 million this year, and then there's these voidable years that are after it. So you're going to restructure, but you probably need to extend and make it real years, not voidable years. Like, you need to tear up that contract and figure out a way to get me my $17 million for this year, but try and spread it out over multiple years. So again, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know it for a fact, but I feel like this story, and I don't know what Tom Silverstein of the Journal Sentinel would say about it, because it was his story, but it did feel to me like it kind of got out into the aggregate sphere and became a much bigger conversation and concern than it actually merited, which I understand how that happens, but if he ends up being released, I will be stunned. I'm not going to say anything like I'm going to walk to Ben's house from my house without shoes on or whatever, but it's really hard for me to envision either side allowing that to happen.
One of the biggest things that Aaron Jones brings to the Packer locker room is, of course, when he's healthy, on-field production, but it's the leadership, it's carrying the G, it's all the good vibes and positive leadership. So can you just provide description of what that looks like? Because we hear that all the time, but we don't get to see it through the lens that you see it. And a follow-up to that question is, if he's not released, who do you think is the next guy ready to carry that baton of being like the locker room heartbeat?
That's a good
question.
question.
They don't have anybody.
Oof.
Obviously, they're all young guys compared to him. So certainly there'll be someone who'll have to emerge if he's not there, and whether that's after, whether that's this off season or next off season or whatever it is, someone will have to take on that role. But they don't have anybody that's ready-made for that. Like, they've got some young guys that I really think highly of and like, and I think they have some of those qualities. I think Christian Watson has that quality. I think Jaden Reed has that quality. But, in my limited interactions with only one season with them, like, I don't necessarily see the tight ends, either one of them, being super comfortable in that role. Obviously, the quarterback, it just goes with the territory that the expectation is that you're that guy. And I think Jordan, for his first year as the starter, seemed to gravitate toward that and seemed to understand it and develop his own leadership style. But yeah, it's not like there's a bunch of other guys that are veteran players. I mean, I guess Elton Jenkins, but again, these guys don't. The problem is not many guys have Aaron Jones's personality to begin with. Like, Aaron Jones is an engaging, outgoing kind of. I mean, he's a rare bird. There's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's different, and so I don't think there's any just sort of, okay, well, we've moved on from Aaron Jones. This guy's the clear-cut, next logical kind of guy. He's different than most players I've covered. So I don't see there being a clear-cut heir to that. And again, my prism or my perspective on his leadership is still different because I haven't actually been led by him. So, you were around, you guys were both on teams with guys that were good leaders, and you know what it's like to actually play on a team with a guy like that. And so I don't know what it's like from that perspective. What I would say is the level of respect that there is for him and the level of appreciation there is for him, because he's always unfailingly positive, and he not only talks the talk about being unselfish, but he walks the walk of being unselfish. And there's plenty of guys who want you to think they're unselfish, but then when they're not getting the ball enough, they raise a stink, and he's not like that. He is authentic, and so that is hard to replace. And again, this is yet another reason between his production and the heartbeats, which both the general manager and the head coach called him, of this team. That's what makes it really hard to envision them somehow finding a way for him to not be on their roster.
Yeah, I guess when you said that, immediately I was like, I don't think you can teach great leadership, right? It just sort of, you either have it or you don't.
Well, and that was going to be my follow-up a little bit as I listened to that. So you're saying that he kind of always had this gravity around him, even from early on. It's not like he grew into this. He always was a positive leader, somebody that they all gravitated toward, even from early on?
Well, I mean, no, because obviously he was a rookie in 2017, and that was a team with some fairly veteran players, right? And he was a fifth-round pick. He didn't even play all that much. So, no, it wasn't like he was that way as a rookie. He was always his personality is effervescent, and he's extremely positive and likable. That was always there. But, the leadership thing comes in once you've had some production and you've played really well, and you've had opportunities to show that you're capable of leading, and you did it in a way that players wanted to follow you. Right? I mean, anybody can think they're a good leader and think that they're doing the right thing, but if nobody follows you, then guess what? You're not a good leader, because no one wants to follow you. So that's how leadership works. And so, I think he's a guy who has demonstrated that connectivity with other people, and I think that's number one. Now, I would also say, and you guys know this from competing at high levels, the both of you, that there are some times when being a leader requires being a jerk and getting after guys. And I'm not sure how much of that Aaron Jones has done. Again, I haven't been in the meetings, so I don't know. But, there's also guys that maybe can lead and are the kind of rah-rah guys. And then there's other guys that, like, sometimes with Aaron Rodgers, or maybe more frequently than you would like with Aaron Rodgers, they have to wear kind of the black hat and be the villain. And I don't know how many times he's had to do that. I don't know how many times he has felt comfortable doing that, but again, he is the kind of player you want on your football team. And it's just hard for me to envision a general manager saying so definitively that they want him back, and then having the inability to figure out the parameters of how to keep him.
Jason Wilde joining us here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. No Kyle, just Ben Brust and Brad Nortman here with you. And Jason, I embarrassingly drove around campus for 4 years with a very, very lame license plate, UWBB1, that Brad still cannot get over. Do you have a personalized license plate, or do you have one that stands out as you saw and was like, what is that?
I did have one when I was in college. I had UW license plates, which I still have to this day. I don't have the vanity plate or the personalized plate, so I just have the UW plate and some sort of number with a U at the end. But mine said Final Four. Now, remember, I was a student from 90 to 94, and in 94, Stu Jackson's team with Tracy Webster, Michael Finley, Rashard Griffith, and Howard Moore, Andy Kilbride, that whole crew, who we got to see celebrating Howard over the weekend at the Kohl Center. They went to the NCAA tournament. They even won a game, if I remember correctly. And that was a huge deal because they had not been to the NCAA tournament since 1947. So that was enormous. But the idea of having Final Four on your license plates, thinking that a Badgers basketball team was going to go to a Final Four, was preposterous. Like Willie Sims was celebrating a NIT win when I was a student.
I guess I'm still confused. So, like Final Four? Do you think they were going to the Final Four?
It was prophetic.
Like, on Selection Sunday, he's like, "Oh, Monday morning, I'm going to the DMV."
I got it when I was a freshman or a sophomore. I just love college. I love college basketball. I still do. If there's anything that I'm ever going to watch purely for entertainment, in terms of sports, like I'm not going to watch an NFL game. I'm not going to. College football is up there, but college basketball is clear-cut number one. So I just always harbored this hope that they'd be a Final Four team. So then when they went in 2000 with Coach Bennett and Mike Kelly and Andy Kowski and that whole crew, one of my buddies at one of the TV stations in Madison was like, "We got to do a story on your license plate. Like you've had this for now a decade, and you had no reason to ever think they were going to go to a Final Four, and now you've been driving around campus for 10 years with this license plate." So that is, I was really proud of that. And then I realized, okay, well, now that you guys went to two more then later, like
you should have kept it, and I could have tried to buy the Final Four license plate, off. You had the rights to it.
That's true. I should have like a jersey number for a guy coming in as a rookie having to pay the veteran.
Yeah, I mean, so
that's right. It's not free.
I had Hawkeye 11 when I was committed to Iowa, and then changed to UWBB 1. And could you imagine if I had Final Four still to this day?
Wow,
I would never. That would be even cringier.
How? So who got Hawkeye 11 after you then had to get rid of it? Did the kid that Bo wouldn't let transfer? Did you give it to him?
Oh, I forgot about that. Definitely not. True story. How about this from a crazy college basketball story? He filled out a bracket, Jared Utoff, and he had us to lose against Vanderbilt in the round of 32 while he was on our team.
What? That's so weird.
Hence why he transferred.
Yeah. It's a clear sign.
He really must not have liked Bo.
No, definitely not. Jason, we appreciate the time going down memory lane. I actually still wish you had that Final Four, but look forward to talking to you on Thursday.
All right, fellas. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde of Wilde and Tausch, giving all the details around the Packers, Aaron Jones, and everything else in between. Hearing from 9 to noon. Yeah, that's interesting perspective. We've had a long conversation. Now, Jason, his vibe to me is very much on the they're going to find a way to make Aaron Jones work, right? And we talk about the cap being fake in a way, like how can they restructure and get him his money and move that in cap into future years somehow, some way. Well, if there's a way, Goody and Russ Ball will make it happen if they really want it. And I don't think Aaron Jones wants to go anywhere. But I'm still not saying it's the only way to go. 800-990-3776. Got to give a shout-out to Palermo's Pizza because it's the victory pizza in my world, or the holy cow, didn't plan ahead, didn't meal prep like Brad Nortman. We need to eat, otherwise we're going to drive ourselves nuts trying to make sure this kid is taken care of. Oh, set the oven to 425. Oh, yeah, I did that. Friday night, a thin and crispy. How about a screaming boss hog? You have it all there. From the secret tomato recipe sauce, the real butter in the craft-styled stone-fired crust, whole milk mozzarella, tons of toppings, thin and crispy, tavern style. That's the cracker crust. It's so good. plus the 2.5 feet of stuffed crust cheese. I love Screamin' Sicilian, especially their OG Screamins, Bessie's Revenge, Holy Pepperoni, Boss Hog, Mother of Meat, Supremus Maximus, the Mambo Italiano.
Mambo!
Taste what all the screaming is all about. More KBN. Don't go anywhere.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
You said they are a reflection of their head coach.
Yes, he saw it as he proved with you by signing that damn jersey you had on. You think Campbell would have signed that jersey?
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. Wisconsin football defensive lineman Gio Paez has entered the transfer portal as a graduate transfer, reported Monday. Paez was the most experienced defensive lineman in the room for the Badgers, playing in 33 career games, including all 13 last season. Paez finished the 2023 campaign with a career-high 23 tackles and played a career-high 385 snaps in 2023. Wisconsin added some depth in the defensive line room over the course of the offseason, adding defensive lineman Elijah Hills from Albany and 3 recruits in the 2024 class.
Get no interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Don't wait. You have to order by March 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's official. 2023 was the biggest jackpot year on record at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. Check out these totals. We had over 57,000 jackpots and more than $134 million in winnings. This shatters our previous record year, and we have no intention of stopping here. And with our 95% average payout, we continue to be the official home of the big win right here in Madison. Let's keep it going in 2024 with even more jackpots at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
So we got about 4 minutes here before we go 94.5 ESPN only, but I do want to go back to what we did in Cheers to and Pour One Out and talking about Howard Moore. So, Howard Moore is just an amazing person. So, if you didn't hear it, I'll give a quick synopsis of what happened with Howard and myself, which has nothing to do with me and more about Howard. I committed to the University of Iowa, and when I decommitted from the University of Iowa my senior year of high school, this is Ben Brust, Brad Nortman, alongside Chris Larson running the show, and Howard Moore was leaving to go be the head coach of the University of Illinois Chicago. And although I knew he was leaving, he was such a ultimate Badger, someone who loved the university, someone who was the heartbeat, the personality, the shining light of every room. If you were in the room with Howard, you knew it. You have people tell you that all the time about people, and it might be blowing smoke. This isn't blowing smoke. Howard Moore is the best person that I've ever met in my life in terms of the purity of his heart. And the tragedy that happened to him, it happened actually the day after one of my former teammates got married in Josh Gosser. So we were all together the day after finding out the news that it would happen to Howard. And it's horrible. The story itself is horrible. But to know that Howard is still fighting, despite the fact that everything that's happened to him, and it shouldn't have happened, it shouldn't have. What happened to him shouldn't have happened to him, his family. And then, for all of this to have happened to someone who was so amazing, to see him yesterday or Saturday, because I don't know my days anymore, out on the floor with his teammates, it was one of the most powerful things I've ever seen in my entire life because he was so impactful to everyone who ever met him. If you knew Howard Moore, you have a story about Howard Moore. It may not be what he did. It may be the smile he put on the face. It may be the presence that he had. If I could, I think about him every day. Like everyone says that, but you do. And I had an opportunity to go see Howard, and I missed the opportunity to see him. And unfortunately, his condition worsened, and I haven't had an opportunity since then. But to know that I've gotten to see him, and you can feel the energy, you can feel the fight, you can see how much he hasn't given up and how much he just loves the pride of being a Badger. I'm telling you, there's nobody better in this world than Howard Moore, and it shouldn't have happened to him, and it's tough to wrap your mind around how something so bad could happen to someone so great. And I still have a hard time accepting that. But being there and seeing the 17,000 people that had an opportunity to see him roll out on the Kohl Center, that in itself gives me some peace when I feel guilt that I get to roam around the world and have a life and do what I want to do. Just had a kid. I wouldn't be, I believe this and I know this. I wouldn't be sitting in this chair talking on the radio if Howard Moore didn't drive me around Observatory. Show me where he met his wife at Liz Waters off Observatory. You don't just remember that from recruiting visits. People that impact your lives, those are the memories you remember. And so he's the most amazing person in the entire world, and I'm happy he was honored. It still hurts my heart, but I'm glad he's continuing on.
Beautifully said, and what a legacy.
I mean, I could talk about him for the rest of the show. I really could. We'll be back in 2 minutes on 94.5 ESPN. Rutledge and Hamilton up next in Madison. Do more, be more, for more.
Plays what they want you to hear.
Ben Brust here to tell you about